So tomorrow is my 4-year anniversary from being diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer, invasive ductal carcinoma. I was first diagnosed, it was stage 2, and there was like a lot of discrepancy about what the size of the actual tumor was, but I know it was big enough to be able to feel it by myself. I would do regular checkups like monthly or so. I could feel a lump. I mean, that's how I found out. So I had it measured all the way from like a couple centimeters all the way up to 8 centimeters. So in the end, I don't know how big it was. It probably says on the pathology report, maybe from surgery. So I'm out just taking a walk. It's like one of the things that I can do for exercise that's easy enough and accessible. So I just get outside. I live in such a pretty area. It's nice to be able to get out and take a walk, and trying to sweat as much as I can because I was told that by the recent doctor that sweating and detoxing are really good for me, and I was trying to think of like the other ways to detox, and I remembered that there's a lot of like juicing that one can do to detox, like with lemon and I don't know what all, like cucumber, celery, lemon, beets. I know that you have to be careful about having too much sweets, like too many beets and too many carrots. That could be like a really high sugar content. Juicing is one of them. And then I also remember doing coffee enemas. I used to do them when I first got diagnosed. They take time. They're not like painful. It's a little bit weird at first, you know, and like trying to figure out like how to lay or how to sit. Do you stay on the toilet? Do you go on your side? You know, they recommend that you lie on the ground on your side. I forget which side, probably with the descending colon down, but I can't remember. So I just decided that I was going to get the supplies for that and start doing a coffee enema again. I ate some chocolate and it like kind of went down the wrong pipe or something. Look how pretty it is. Look at this tree. And it doesn't really come across in the video as well. Look at that. It's like stunning. Can I zoom in? I don't know. So it's really fall here. It's so pretty. I know it's not like the kind of fall that happens in the East Coast, but it's still California fall in the foothills, Sierra foothills, and it's really pretty. The new doctor that's ordering the test for me has me taking pancreatic enzymes, and I'm doing a GI detox. I could show those things another time. And then just like a D, you know, I take 10,000 IU of D 6 days a week, every day except Sunday. What else? Something lipotropic complex. I'm not sure actually even what that is, but GI detox is like a binder. It's got, I think, diatomaceous earth in it and some clay, maybe some charcoal. So it's a cleansing thing. We're waiting to hear back on my 2 urine analysis tests and then the hair mineral analysis. So once we get that information back, we'll know more, like if I have heavy metals or... I'm so curious. I've never done those tests before. One of them was like $400 something. Isn't that crazy? It's just, I don't know, to me that's a lot. But I think it's supposed to be really good information, valuable. So that happened, and then the last video I did, I was saying that I needed to go get an ultrasound in the axilla, the armpit, and I did that. They got me in the next day, and I went in and I had the technician. She was like, you know, I had my arm up and she was in my armpit with the little ultrasound like wheelie thing, and she's like rolling it around in my armpit, and she's not taking pictures. I don't know if you've had an ultrasound, but I've had enough of them to know that when they see something, they measure it and they take a picture, and every time they take a picture, you can hear it. It's like, you know, it's like someone taking a picture on a camera. So you know that if you're hearing that sound, that they're finding something to take a picture of. You know, like, okay, I guess there's something there. Well, she wasn't taking any pictures. She was wheeling it around trying to find something, and she's like, you know, I'm just not seeing anything. It looks good. And of course that was like what I wanted to hear and really good news. She's like, well, where's the lump? And I said, I don't know. I mean, it's in the axilla. Didn't the doctor like indicate like what area it's in or something? I guess they don't say, like when there's a tumor, they say like 3 o'clock from the nipple or something like that. And I guess they don't have a way of saying it. So anyway, she's looking around and she's like, well, that's good, you know. And so I said, I don't mean to offend you, but would you mind getting the radiologist in here? They could also take a look. She went and she got him, and I said, thank you so much. I had realized that this was the second time that a doctor felt something on my left side, which is the cancer side, and the side that they took some 6 lymph nodes out of. This is now the second time that a doctor has like felt something there and wanted and ordered like an ultrasound. He's like moving the little dial thing around, and he said that he also couldn't find anything. So he was like, where is it? And I'm like, I don't know, because when the radiation oncologist had felt something there, he had me feel it with my hand, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I kind of feel something there. It's like a little bit of a something, whatever, something kind of bulging, but like my body is so deformed in the areas here that it could be anything. And I think on this side I must have scar tissue. That ended up being nothing, and which is super good, but also really weird, because when I was at Stanford 1.5 years ago, the medical oncologist there is the one that had ordered an ultrasound for me. It's wet and I'm gonna sit in a wet bench. So she ordered an ultrasound for me 1.5 years ago, and they did it, and there was no evidence of disease. But at that time it didn't seem strange, because that was the first time they were checking the axilla. Now they're checking the axilla again and like noting that there's nothing there. So it's really good news. I mean, I'm totally happy about it. And then I also wonder, the radiation oncologist told me that I could get a PET CT if I wanted one. Like, I have a symptom. The symptom was whatever he was feeling, you know, like some sort of bump. And then the other symptom is that like constriction or whatever is happening in my chest. So I am going to the endoscopist, and that hasn't happened yet. That's the good news about the axilla. I feel really grateful that I am alive 4 years later. I think that, you know, sometimes people say, oh, certain cancers are better than other cancers, which never feels good if you have cancer, to be like, oh, you have the bad one, or oh, you have the good one, or whatever. And it used to be that triple positive, which is the type of breast cancer I had, was the bad one, because triple negative and triple positive, I guess they were just less treatable, or like the outcomes weren't as good. And so it now is the case that triple positive is okay or something. It's better, I guess, than it used to be, because of the monoclonal antibody, the targeted treatment with the Herceptin. You know, being estrogen positive, that's considered not good. I do my best, and I've been focusing so much on the platelet thing for so long. It's been 2.5 years that I've been dealing with the platelet stuff, so I really have put like the whole cancer stuff aside. I still feel like regret that I did radiation, but I can't go back, only because now I have to like monitor my heart and deal with like whatever is going on in this armpit, which is most likely from the radiation. The whole expander thing was such a debacle. There's times like now when I look at women that have a successful reconstruction, if they don't have nipples, they just like have a breast, and I'm just like, wow. I just heard from a friend who just had deep, you know, DIEP. She had a reoccurrence, and or recurrence, I guess you say, and she used the belly fat, and she now has this breast, and she's so happy with it. You know, there's just all these stories, and I feel like I failed, or I was failed, or whatever. The whole thing just became a failure for me, which is so disappointing. I was looking forward to having breasts, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna have breasts still, and now I don't. And in some ways I'm used to it, but there are times when I'm like, God, it sure would be nice. It just would be nice to feel like I used to feel. But it is what it is, and I'm really happy that I'm not, I'm just like out of the woods in terms of so many surgeries and going through so many hospital visits. And it's great, you know, it's good that I've made it this far. And I feel hopeful for making it a lot farther, but you know, you never know. I mean, God, I don't know if it's like because I've just become aware of cancer for so long that now I just see cancer everywhere. Like, I see so many people that are getting cancer, and I'm like, Jesus, is this like the normal amount, or are more women getting breast cancer than they used to, and more people getting other types of cancer? It's a little bit scary, but that's how it is. I mean, we're only going to live for so long, whether it's cancer or something else. I am celebrating. I guess I should celebrate. I'm not much of a celebration person, but I am celebrating making it 4 years and being basically healthy. I feel better. Like just month by month, I'm getting a little bit better. I would love to say that I was all the way better, and I guess I'll say that when my platelet issue resolves, but it may not. It may just be something that I have to deal with. So now I wanted to acknowledge that it's 4 years, and I guess that's my Cancerversary. Just be grateful for the life I've been given, really, and take a walk out in the rain. It's actually raining now. You probably can't tell because I don't think the video could pick up something that small, but I guess, look, it's just so pretty. I love it. I live in Grass Valley, California. Quite a lovely place because we're just like at the foothills of the Sierra Nevadas. And it's like where I live, the elevation's about 2,500 feet, something like that. So we get snow, but we don't get like Tahoe level snows, but we do get snow. And it's really pretty. I lived in San Francisco for a long time, and I loved living in the city in my 20s. It was great. And then I moved up here in 2008, 12, 13 years ago. And it really took me a long time to appreciate living here. Mostly I bitched about it for different reasons. But now there's just some part of me that's like very attracted to and somewhat attached to the nature, to the natural surroundings that we live in. And I live in a developed neighborhood, even the fact that the streets are paved, there's a lot of dirt roads up here where I live. But this is a very neighborhoody neighborhood. And it's nice. Look, here's my street. I like this view. Looking down the street. It's just so pretty. All right, that's it. Blah, blah, blah. This is where I live. This is a little park by my house. It's a park because that's what they call it, but really it's just like a little wooded area. And it's been raining. It's not raining now, but it's made everything so saturated looking. And I live in a part of California where we had a lot of fires, so having rain is a really welcome thing. And also it just makes it so beautiful.